Welcome to Gulf Islands Radio. My name is Lisa Schlabowska. I'm the owner and operator of a holistic centre on Salt Spring Island called Figs and Honey, and among other things, I am a mentor and motivator. I will be chatting to people for my show, Living a Passionate Life, and interviewing people from all walks of life to discover what it is to be working passionately, using one's gifts and natural talents to make a living. What is the difference and what does that look like? I'm on a quest to inspire and be inspired, as I believe that when we're living a soul-driven path, our lives change and life is a very different experience. Today, please welcome Karen van Dyke, Master Herbalist and Natural Perfumier, owner of Nature's First Beauty Bar and the Organic Skin Creamery in Victoria that has just opened. And I'm sitting in here today with you, Karen. It's so good to be here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I love your story. I wanted to bring you on the show because I can see that you're devoted and passionate to what you do. And you've had an amazing life and an interesting life. And I think what our listeners would enjoy listening to is how you went about changing your career, because you were a teacher, I believe,
Yes.
for how many years?
Oh boy, 8 years.
7 or 8 years. And then you changed direction completely.
Yes.
And followed a lifelong passion from a little girl.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell us that story. I want to hear all about that because you started on Salt Spring Island too.
I did. I grew up on the beaches of Salt Spring Island.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you came about really knowing and understanding that you needed to change direction and follow your passions, and what the difference is like now that you do that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. You never expect that you're going to find your passion. Sometimes it changes throughout your life. I think as a child, I was very connected to nature, as you are on the island, because you're surrounded by the incredible beauty, and the summers seem to go on forever.
It's true.
I mean, we played on those rocks. We pretended we were mermaids, and we made store on the beach. You know, we used kelp heads for bottles, and we dug clay out of the beds, and we used to do all kinds of beauty treatments using natural elements that we found on the island: blackberries, lemon juice, all sorts of things, rainwater. We used to put the blossoms, all sorts of aromatic blossoms into jars with rainwater in them. And I think that connection to nature kind of disappeared as I grew up, and I became very urban-centered. And like a lot of people, was on a path to find, what is my career? What is it that I'm meant to do? And at that time, for girls, there was really not a lot of encouragement unless you were very wealthy or you had an incredible talent. So it was basically, the choices were secretary, nurse, teacher.
I remember that because I went towards being a secretary almost straight out of school. My father said, well, this is what you should do.
This is your father said, and you went.
I did, yeah.
I did similar, Lisa, because I tried university, but I was only 17 years old, so I dropped out, and I went to business college, and then it put me through university. So it was a good skill. It's never lost. Nothing is ever wasted.
Of course not.
It brings you to where you are. So then I got my Bachelor of Education, and at that time, married, kids, so lots of distractions on discovering your own passion. One of my all-abiding passions is music. From the time I was a little child, music was in me, and I think it came back again in my life at various times, and now it's reborn, it's rebirthed in the art of perfume, which is very connected to music.
Lovely.
It's all about notes and chords, and it evolves like a song. So it's really interesting how things transform. So here's what happened. Since this is about a life of passion, I didn't see this coming. It happened one day, one spring, and I had my third child in my arms, and she was asleep. She was a baby. And I was by Shawnigan Lake. The door was wide open, and the spring air was coming in through the door. And I don't know if anyone knows the smell of the cottonwood bud, but I think if you could smell it, you would recognize it immediately.
I had a cottonwood bud tree just opposite my house that I know that exact smell that you're talking about.
Yes, it likes its feet in the water. So if you live near lakes or rivers or streams, you'll always find a poplar or a cottonwood. There's different varieties, but the buds in the spring always smell the same. They have this resin on them that is so gorgeous. Some people call it balm of Gilead. In reality, balm of Gilead is a different plant, but anyway. So I put the baby down, went outside, looked for where the smell was coming from, because I thought, what if I could take that smell, put it in a bottle, take it to the prairies, and leave it at a bus stop anonymously, and somebody who was having a bad day pick up the bottle.
Smell BC.
Well, they would smell heaven, because to me it was heaven.
Yes.
So I started then the journey. I went down a rabbit hole and I started researching the art of perfume, the ancient art of perfume. And what I realized is that its roots were very mysterious, really combined with ritual, food, the spice trade, the discovery of new continents. It was all linked into the aromatics of the world. They are our medicine, our food, our healing, our inspiration, they're connected to our sexual desire, our religious, our spiritual connection, all tied in with scent. But the scents that they were using then were all from nature.
Right.
And they found ways to extract them, like distillation and maceration, enfleurage, all sorts of mysterious techniques.
I know when I lived in Bahrain in the Middle East, I remember going through the souks and having an experience walking past the perfumes there that they would tincture in their traditional ways. I mean, back in biblical times. And oh my gosh, the smells were unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And the colours, and it's just a whole different experience to the newer smells, which are actually very lovely, but it's not the same. It's different.
It's different. It's like painting with acrylics rather than with oils.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Yeah, you're limited with natural resources, whereas with synthetics, chemicals, it's unlimited.
Right.
So it's a whole different ballgame. So that was the beginning, and then from my love of scent and perfume, I turned my kitchen into a laboratory. I was like in love, and that was the passion that ignited where I am today. So it evolved and became much more connected to business, because in reality, we have to make a living, and where we're at in our lives is sort of where we find our place.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from, I'll just say in a nutshell, I went from the love of perfume into aromatherapy, which is very connected.
Of course.
Distilled oils. And then from there to herbal medicine, to the plants themselves.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then I studied herbal medicine with Dominion Herbal College in Vancouver, and put the baby down. I'd study for a couple hours every day, and did that for 2 years, and wrote my exam, and I'm a chartered herbalist.
Right.
So that, and then I went back to perfume and moved heaven and earth, because this was my true passion, and to go to Berkeley in California and study with Mandy Aftel, who wrote Essence and Alchemy, and she is an incredible woman. She's world-renowned for her chef oils and also for her perfumes. She sells in New York, all over the world. And I was lucky enough to study in her studio 6 times over a 3-year period.
Amazing.
Yeah. And did that, and that's my passion. But
now I know there's an interesting part here, because you worked in a pharmacy, an organic pharmacy, or a pharmacy of some sort, and it was there that you launched into skincare.
Yeah.
And then you felt, after understanding what was in traditional skincare sold in over the counters. I want to talk about that, because you and I are both passionate about supporting women and men to educate people to understand that what they put on their skin genuinely impacts their health and well-being. So why not support your health and well-being by putting good, healthy, nutritious ingredients on your skin, and that there are beautiful natural solutions to things like eczema and psoriasis and acne that supports you and doesn't create dependency, and doesn't damage your liver, and doesn't damage your thyroid or your cancer. And I know the traditional pharmaceutical grade qualities, they'll tell you, oh, well, yes, those products are carcinogenic, but by the way, they're not absorbed into the skin. Well, you and I have first-hand experience how quickly everything is absorbed in the skin. So actually it is absorbed, and if people actually knew what they were putting on their bodies as a daily moisturizing treatment, or creams and tinctures that they fancy and buy in a pharmacy, they would be horrified to know that it does not support their health and well-being. And I know that they would want to buy natural products. And so you were in a pharmacy and you were working, doing...
Well, I was the staff herbalist.
Right.
So I was hired by a man, Babak Mayer, and he had a whole chain of compounding pharmacies. Compounding pharmacies make the medicines there. They have a lab.
Right.
And I was his natural products specialist and his herbalist. So I prepared teas and tinctures and capsules and whatever the clientele wanted. I would present for them and make for them in the lab. I worked often in big pharmacies where they had cosmetic departments, and I saw what was happening. I mean, I made friends with the cosmeticians. They're lovely people that really all try to make women feel better. But I soon realized that they were being somewhat brainwashed by the industry, and I started to get what was happening. And it's all around money, bottom line, which is really no surprise. But just to summarize what a company will do if they want to launch a unique line, they want to be able to patent it. So, and they know people are interested in nature. So what they do is they go to their scientists and they say, well, we want something natural.
We're drawn
from
to that
nature, because this is going to be good for our marketing strategy. So can you find something in this grape or this melon or this turnip or this seaweed that is going to be revolutionary and different from anything else on the market? So the scientists study the natural ingredient. They isolate a molecule that they think is going to be regenerative, or because nature is incredibly powerful. We know this. But what they do is they split it apart. So it's like dissecting something and taking out one piece.
Of course. So
they take out one part of this molecule out of this melon extract, and then they say, we found it. We found the elixir of youth, or the cure for cancer. So what we want you to do then, they say, is magnify that. Can you copy that? Because it's really expensive for us to pick all these melons, and what are we going to do? We're going to waste them all, and then we're going to, it's going to cost us a fortune. Can you copy that molecule? And of course they can. They can synthesize almost anything.
Right.
Using headspace technology, they can just copy it. So what they do is copy that, and they magnify it by 1,000 times, and then they have a patentable extract. So no one can copy it. They patent it. They put it in their products, and they put a picture of a melon on the cover, or grapes, or whatever they're using, and people think they're getting a natural product. In essence, they're getting a cosmeceutical, which has some effect. Oftentimes it's way too strong for people and causes a negative effect on the skin. Cosmetics managers would tell me that returning product is very, very common.
So tell me, in those traditional white fluffy bottles where fluffy, I say fluffy, but they foam up the cleansers and the moisturizers are thick and creamy. What actually goes into traditional pharmaceutical products that you buy, the global brands that we all know, to make them so that we all put our fingers in them, put them on our skin and say, oh, it feels like silk, and we're sold to it.
Yes.
I know it's always white.
Yes, isn't that interesting? Because nature is red and green and yellow and brown, and it's
beautiful.
So, no, what they put into that, they use a combination of things. They know people are looking for some natural ingredients, so they do put them in. So as well as putting in some, high-grade natural ingredients that people identify with. For example, argan oil is big right now, and everybody looks for it. They see it, they think it's, this is natural, let's buy this. And they also put in emulsifiers that have sulfates or PEGs, polyethylated glucoses. Phosphates, sulfates, PEGs, things that are detergent-based. So they also emulsify, they join oil and water, but they also are so powerful that they emulsify the oils in your skin and the oils under your skin. So as you said, approximately 60% of what you put on the skin goes through the skin, if it's a small enough molecule. So you're absorbing these emulsifiers, and you're actually destroying your lipid layer in your skin and in your hair. So that's in there. Preservatives like phenoxyethanol, Optifen, there's many others. Some are disguised under the name Parfum. They are all formaldehyde donors or ammonia, quaternary ammonias. They disrupt the central nervous system. They're carcinogens, and they're preservatives. And the reason they use them is because they're cheap. They work really, really well. because they basically kill anything alive.
Right.
And they'll last. You can have a product sit on a shelf for 2 years and it's unchanged. So it's basically
stable.
preserved. It's preserved. It's like embalming a body.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, we don't want those ingredients because we know that there's a thyroid epidemic, cancers, all sorts of ugly things.
Yeah.
And, I don't like fearing anybody ever into using a product to be healthy, but I do feel like our immune systems are under attack all the time. So anything we can do to support being healthy, eating whole foods, having healthy ingredients on our skins, it's just doing little things that are right things to support ourselves to be as healthy as possible. So there's no guarantees, but we do know it's probably the right direction.
Yeah.
And then instead of putting products on our bodies that potentially could harm, let's put products on our bodies that are full of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and actually help make us glow. Food for the skin.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Whole molecules.
So here we are. We're sitting in your new space.
Yes.
We're on Quadra Street.
Yes.
What's the number here?
It's number 105. 2750 Quadra.
Right.
It's the broadcast building.
The broadcast building. It's called the Organic Skin Creamery.
Yes.
And you can come in here. You've got a whole variety of products that you can buy off the shelf that you've freshly made.
Yeah.
And you can come and you can have bulk products made up and wholesale products and private label.
Yes.
And I know all of my products at my centre on Salt Spring, Figs and Honey, are amazing, and you make them all freshly made. I pop over to Victoria and collect them, and I have nothing but compliments all the time.
That's beautiful.
For everything that I use. I mean, the aromatherapeutic value for balancing hormones, aiding sleep, and all those things. The eczema products, I get stopped all the time. People say, "Are you the Figs and Honey lady?" I'm like, "Yes, I am. Oh my gosh, your eczema cream and your eczema oil. I've tried everything. I've had eczema for 20 years and it works."
Wow.
It's very exciting. I mean, this is exciting because it's natural and it's healthy, and you're doing good things for people.
Yeah, and they can put it on and it's not going to hurt them at all. In
So
fact,
how
it's
does it
safe for
feel,
babies,
Karen?
too.
You get up in the morning. I know every time I come in here, you're looking jolly.
Oh,
You
thank
seem
you.
light. You're playful, and it feels like you're a little girl playing in your nest in your little tree house or playhouse.
Yes.
So that's what it feels like for you to be
Yes.
living a passionate life. It's
Yeah.
really just playing and working and playing.
It is, and I think, the work part of it is a pleasure, because you work more when you have your own business and when you're passionate about something.
Yes.
You work a lot, but the work is play. Is exactly what you say, and you have freedom. I mean, as long as you can afford to do what you love. And gosh, I was so motivated. I mean, I have never given up. This is.
I know, and I admire you for that. I've known you now for 5 years, and I have been so in total admiration for your dedication, trying all the different things that come your way, being open, moving around, and now you finally found this fabulous space, which is a retail space.
Yes.
And I'm excited to say that I'm also going to be offering holistic facials here and doing fusion treatments with
excited
Reiki.
too.
I know, because I've got almost 100% success rate in helping people with their skin issues, holistically, naturally, and we're going to be working together. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm really excited, Lisa, and also mention that we have a kitchen here. We're sitting in it right now, and this is where everything is made. So everything is fresh. All the Figs and Honey products, all the products you'll find here at the creamery, everything is made on site from whole ingredients. It's all edible and it's fresh.
It's very unique, and for people who really say, "Oh, I know lots of natural organic skincare lines," I almost guarantee that none of them are worked by hand in quite the same way that we do it. And you use local herbs,
I use local ingredients
as much as
Wildcraft,
possible.
Yeah.
You also use a shea butter from a widows group. You support a
in
whole
Ghana.
village in Ghana of widows to take care of themselves by buying their organic and fair trade shea butter.
Yeah.
Huge thing, because there's a big mafia business in Africa on shea butter.
Oh yes.
And you've got, all the way down the line, packaging is recyclable.
Yeah.
You've got an ethical supporting women attitude right the way down the line.
Yes.
And men too, because we do shave lines and shave creams and shave balms and relief remedies.
And a lot of things, and your deodorants and things, they're all unisex. Really, they're not geared towards just one sex or the other. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just about anything that you need, whether it is a deodorant, a soap, a face cream, a tincture, a skin smoothie, an oil, a lip balm, a BB cream, you can do
sunscreen.
it.
We can do anything. That's my attitude.
So give us your telephone number so people could reach you if they need to.
It's 250-886-5511.
And your website is?
You can go at it two ways. You can go organicskincreamery.com or .ca, or you can go naturesfirstbeautybar.com.
Excellent. Well, Karen, I'm thrilled to know you, and I am very excited to interview you on my show, Living a Passionate Life, because you are living a passionate life.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by Figs and Honey Organic Beauty Therapy, where radiant, healthy skin is our passion, 100% naturally. For more information on our fine line of products or this show, please go to www.figsandhoney.com.